Afterward, looking ahead. Be thankful for the degree of stupidity and transparency offered by our respective governments. They are teaching us so much that we need to know in order to throw off their constraints. Anyone that you meet who approves of Congress or just an individual politician is either under 12 years old, tragically stupid, mildly retarded, dependent, codependent, or otherwise brain damaged. Humanity is waking up. Governments around the world have dialed up their corruption, threats, propaganda, lawmaking, warring, etc. Though our rulers lack the imagination to see or understand what is happening, nonetheless, they are reacting instinctively to the zeitgeist. Roaches, once poisoned, will copulate madly, trying vainly to create more of their evil. So too do our governments act to attempt to seize control of the internet, document our transactions, counter government speech, and so on. We are seeing their mad world swirl faster and faster in crazed circles, much as water runs in faster circles just before it disappears in the toilet. Someday soon, we will look back on this phase of human development in much the same way we look back on the age of monarchies and city-states with amazement that just how these constraints were not thrown off sooner. Who can regulate trade when I can order a toy from a Chinese businessman operating out of his house through the net? Sure, taxes come down on this tiny bit of free market, but that aspect of leeching will become increasingly difficult as humanity comes together through this new virtual world just now generating new digital currencies. Some, even now, are struggling to give this new age a name. Given the increasing speed of social and business change, we could give it a slick name, but the age we defined might be born and pass in only months. That is the magnitude of this accelerating process. Terence McKenna, something of a hangover from the hippie era, postulated a future point coming that he could only call a singularity. His vision was driven by hallucinogenic drugs and an algorithm formula that he developed during a trip to South America where he took a trip, if you get my meaning. Terence was able to layer over the function of his new algorithmic formula onto a world history timeline. He noted that the peaks and valleys of the charted formula corresponded to major world events. Wars, assassinations, and innovations could be seen as being tied to this odd mathematical model. Oddly enough, McKenna further claimed that his creation could be used to project future events. The peaks in his formula he called points of novelty. In other words, he referred to such spikes as new events and jarring occurrences. Whether one can accept the notion of a crystal ball formula or not, McKenna's terminology is useful as we look ahead. A feature in the McKenna formula actually predicted its own end or terminus. Run forward on its timeline. The formula ends its function with a huge spike in activity, aka novelty, in 2012. Here the formula ends as it runs into an infinity process. To my knowledge, McKenna never tried to define what happened at this stage, but he mathematically projected its arrival in 2012. True or not, novelty is here, and it is accelerating all of us toward a great unknown. What a rush. Technology is the driver of this new age, or better to say, the new ages. The value of things has changed. Buy a kitchen knife and you have a good way to cut carrots. Buy a chair and you might expect to have a degree of comfort. Buy an internet-ready laptop with built-in camera, mic, great disk space, and you can reach millions and change the world. So what is the real value of that laptop? It comes back to the individual more than ever. We are now able to increasingly bypass our keepers in government and culture. We are reaching out to other individuals, changing things on a personal level, both subtle and growth. My government does not speak for me. I speak for myself and my business in this new world. This is an unstoppable aspect of the new, almost telepathic way humanity is connecting. The age of great rallies and being swayed by great orators is over. One of us on a YouTube channel speaking our truth can do even more. Consider how our leaders still cling to the rally model and crave that old school thrill of lecturing the masses, Nuremberg style. But All they do is prop up their crumbling egos for a short time. They have changed nothing. How could they really instill the masses with a mission when an 18-year-old kid can, turn their pontifications on their head with a 5-minute online video speaking the truths being obscured? So what is the value of that one kid's laptop then? What greater values can be derived from our newly interconnected lives? How can we grow, trade, and prosper in this age of ages? We are in an age of truth, as this model bears out. Propaganda, biases, and secrets are more fragile than ever. Businesses must take their cue from this and play fair and be clear on the reality of what they can and should be doing. Private information like truth will come out eventually. Our dealings, good or bad, will be exposed. Running honest enterprises will be more important than ever. We are coming together like never before, and a growing acceleration is kicking in. It is much like how stars may fall into themselves when the fires of their youth extinguish. Larger stars collapse into what astronomers call black holes. Gravity runs wild, and in the end, not even light can escape. The mathematics of these major stellar collapses refers to the resulting construct as a singularity. So in deference to Terence McKenna, let us give him the honor of naming the age, the singularity age. We are in an unavoidable process of merging. We can project that this integration of our species will be ongoing and with unexpected results. Yet it seems that the best we may do is to define the age by the process we are being swept into. The singularity age. As we consider the landscape of the singularity and consider the obvious risks involved in any new business frontier, there are new traps and perils to be faced. One of these is born of the new intense experiences offered by this singular digital landscape. In this swirl of new worlds being born and dying before us, we must pay critical attention to what distracts us. You are reading this because you desire to employ these integrated spheres to achieve a productive end. Yet in any new environment there are advantages and dangers. Forgive me, my gamer friends, but one can be robbed of their future by being distracted at best and addicted at worst. We all enjoy the pleasant fun of new online games and interactive opportunities through social media. We can keep up with our circle of friends and business contacts in wonderful ways and share amazing digital adventures. Yet, this interaction can prove to be just as dangerous and even addicting as drugs or alcohol. We all know of the gamer lost to winning digital battles and great quests that do not matter to anyone. Others we know get lost in the narcissistic world of Facebook, etc. Used in moderation, all of these new stimulants are wonderful developments, yet we must learn and adapt to these potential distractions and remember our purpose in the real world. These forces will grow and expand, and we need to be very cognizant of these digital distractions. Per the theme of this work, it can be said that innovation is now in the cloud. Your IT staff is not going to launch a breakthrough system. They will maintain your internal data and infrastructure like Mario and Luigi maintain plumbing. They will only act to keep things flowing. Now, the cloud is staged to replace so much that we thought we could only achieve internally just a few years ago. Consider the RFID revolution that is now underway and how it is yet another way that markets will be improved and the fallacious market data derangements of pundits, corporations, or governments will be shaved away like ugly stubble. Imagine if you were in the metals trade. Now imagine if you could be in a situation where you did not have to wait for old or manipulated data on the global supply of such commodities. Imagine that real-time data may be gleaned from the cloud on the real-time amounts of raw or finished product and its pertinent locations on the globe. How would that change what you did? All that is needed is a greater commonality of data collection and sorting and an efficient means of affixing self-identifying RFID tags to such materials. Better data translates into better business decisions, but only if you develop your ability to process and refine the data. As I have explained, the CRM cloud database, when planned and used well, provides a stable growth platform as your potential engine. In these pages, I have only begun to offer ways to do exactly this on the most basic level. Still, you need to crawl before you walk. It is well nigh time to run, but let us take these baby steps for now.